We are doing an awesome thing here today. Cheri and I are live from Vegas for our Scrutiny show.
Yay!
Yay! Woohoo!
Viva Las Vegas. Oh, there
Because
we
somebody had a very special birthday.
are. I did.
So we're just doing a little bit of quick admin stuff to get this show out there to the public so everybody can see us. Cheri is sharing it with the rest of her friends because they want to see what's going on. And today we're going live from my page, and usually we do it the other way around. So as soon as she's done reading her romance novel, we will get to it because we have an awesome, exciting show for everyone today.
We are often naked together in the mornings
That's true.
via selfie. Andy and I take our ugly selfies in the morning and send them to each other very often. So,
Cheri, have I got the genitals for you?
if you've got an itch, Andy Vargo will scratch it.
We got so much to tell you about our trip from Vegas. You hear my voice is a little bit hoarse,
Well,
or like that's
at least it's not cheese grits
right.
stuck
Yeah,
in your throat. We went to House of Blues this morning, and I ate cheese grits for the first time. It was delicious.
she says this morning, but it was like 2 in the afternoon. It was breakfast.
Whatever. It was breakfast to us. No, but the little grit things kept getting stuck in my throat, and I kept coughing. I was like, people are gonna think I have COVID or something.
Yeah, the whole restaurant was just turning around and kept looking. So,
Oh wow.
House of Germs, more like. So, do you want to start us off? I think it's your turn.
Oh, do an intro right here. Welcome to Scrutiny with Cheri and Andy. I'm Cheri Hardman.
And I'm Andy Vargo. I didn't know I was supposed to say my name. I'm Andy Vargo.
Yeah, we're live from Vegas. We came down here to celebrate my 60th birthday yesterday.
Oh, and we're in person in the same room for this episode.
I know, and we've been having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I kind of ran out of steam last night, but I feel like I drank a bunch of water today, so
We rehydrated. We're ready for round 3. We can do it.
we can. So
Is there anything you have coming up before we get into our Vegas? We're going to tell you all about our Vegas trip, and then we are also going to talk about dream interpretation, and then also how to tell like whether or not you should date someone based on the company they're keeping. Like, you know, when you're out and about, you think this guy looks cute, that gal looks fine, but look at who they're with. So that's going to be a topic as well as a rundown on our trip. But before we get into all that cool stuff, what you got coming up?
well, tonight I am featuring at the open mic at Noreen's Lounge. Sunday Fun Day. It's one of the best mics here. I'm really looking forward to it. So Andy,
I'm excited. I'm going to do a set there, and this is my first time doing comedy in Vegas. So we'll see how that
I
goes.
didn't think of it that way, but that's cool.
That's pretty exciting. I'm so glad
Yeah.
that I could have my comedy bestie wifey here with me for it, because it just wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun. But Wednesday night is a big night.
Yes.
It is my turn to what am I saying? So to compete. Thank you. Nate Jackson's Super Funny Comedy Club is having a big competition. I think we're at week
3 or 4. I think this is 4,
it's
isn't it?
4.
Week.
Right. Yeah,
Just-
yeah.
This will be week 4, and Cheri's competing to go through and move on to the next level. So
Yeah.
what we need is for everybody to come out, because part of it is audience participation.
A big part of it is audience participation.
And so come out.
So if you come and hoot and holler and laugh, that will help me. Plus, we can just keep the birthday going till Wednesday.
It'll be a fun party. And also, you know, when a comedian goes to a show and they bring a crowd, that helps the bookers and the owners of the club know that that person can bring a crowd. So you're helping Cheri as a birthday gift to get booked more and more Plus, you're gonna have fun. So bring a friend, make it a date night, make it a me night, whatever. Let's fill that place up.
Take a nap. If you're old, just take a nap before you go.
Not during the
You
show.
know.
Don't take a nap during the show.
It's a beautiful club. You're not going to want to nap. So
Right.
yeah, so
That's
there's
true.
that. So that's I haven't even projected past that date. That's been my focus. So what's going on with you?
I'm just distracted by my hair.
It looks like a wave in the
I
ocean.
know, like it. Every time I
Catch
do
a
it, it's a little
wave
bit
and it's
different.
on top of Andy's head.
Anyway, I have some markets coming up. I think I'm doing one on Tuesday. I'll post it on my Facebook page. I kind of got lost in details while I was getting ready for the trip, and I just ate a mustache hair. Sorry, job hazards. And a lot of that kind of stuff going on. I've been pretty busy with some private one-on-one things. So private, like, one-on-one consultations and things. So
Sorry, I'm being.
I didn't get that hair. It is from my mustache.
You know how to make that so that doesn't happen?
Yeah, how? You know a trick?
You just shave off that fucking mustache.
I don't know that. You've been wanting to say that every episode. We haven't even started drinking yet today.
Oh God.
Oh, damn.
This is why I wanted Andy with me.
Why you gotta be a
We
hater?
have laughs together.
And we had so many laughs. So where do we start? Friday night?
Yeah.
We got down here. What happened Friday? I can't remember what started it. I just got.
It seemed like it was a year ago. Okay, Friday night. I'll talk while you're
Please.
picking out your mustache. Okay, we went somewhere.
Well, I know we went to piano bar, but Carol was here first.
Oh yeah, so Carol Freeman came and met us here, and we had drinks down in that bar.
Oh, that's right. Yes, we're at the Mandalay Bay, by the way.
Right, and then we were trying to. Oh, she had to leave to go to a show.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we ended up without her. So she went to see a show, and did we go down the strip that night?
Yes, we were.
Yeah, and then we ended up in.
I got it. Sorry.
Oh, 'cause Okay, that's good. Oh, we went down. We were going to Harrah's.
We were
That's
going to
what
Harrah's.
it was. But they had like a long line to get in, and usually there's no line.
Yeah,
Usually they just let people in, but they were doing the list thing, and it was like.
and it didn't look as exciting in there.
Mm.
And yeah.
Right next to it is the piano bar, so we went to the piano bar.
The dueling piano bar.
Yeah, and that was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
I mean, you wouldn't want to do a piano bar every time you go out.
Right. And that was my first time going to piano bar ever. So that was a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, so it was fun.
And they had two gals and a guy that were playing, and they could play all these different songs, and they were mixing the songs up and not just playing them like you do. They were putting their own words in and stuff. It was pretty fun. And it was your birthday weekend, so we had to have them play a song for you. There's video, by the way, of the piano bar night on Cheri's and mine timeline, so check those out. For a little bit entertaining.
Yeah, so that was a good part of the trip. Then that was Friday night, and then yesterday.
Oh, do I even remember yesterday?
What did we do earlier in the day?
We started out the day. Carol got here. I was not out of bed yet. You had a massage because it was your birthday.
Oh yeah, yesterday was my birthday.
That was awesome.
I started off with it was 100-minute massage, and they told me it was going to be a man. But when you picture getting a massage from a man, you picture like some Swedish hunk or something. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that, but it was a great massage. Like I got out of there.
He did a good job.
I could turn my neck now. I couldn't turn my neck before that, especially that way. So he did really good work. So I'm happy with how that turned out.
Good.
And then I was trying to find Pompsy. I was trying to find Pompsy yesterday. Pompsy is a Las Vegas blogger. He YouTuber.
All for 10 hours at a time.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, he'll just he does hotel reviews, but he also live streams for the strip.
And part of the issue was that we started to go towards him, but then we had to eat because none of us had eaten yet, and we had to be to the selfie museum by 3:00.
Oh, that's right. Then we went to the selfie museum.
Yeah, which was fun.
That was so fun. I know you guys, if you follow us, saw some of the pictures, and I'll probably be cropping some up here and there.
Yeah, I have more to post. I gotta save you some goodies for later. Oh, what happened with you boys? Later.
Like a Peter Brady moment.
Is that-
No, wait a minute. Let's check. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say a Peter Brady moment?
no, I mean I'm familiar with the Brady Bunch.
Okay.
Is Peter the older one, or
He's the middle one, and
the
there was a
middle one,
whole
okay.
episode about his voice changing.
okay? I was guessing that was kind of what you're referring to. I am familiar with the Brady Bunch and all of that, but I haven't watched enough.
Well, see, I'd like to tease him because every time I bring up a pop culture reference, he doesn't even know what I'm talking about. I get so frustrated. Like
Today we had one
we did have one today. We were going down the hallway,
hallway,
and we're at way down. We're at the very end of the hallway.
and we're on the 60th floor.
And I said, "Oh, this is like kind of weird because if you go over, like if I go on the scooter really fast, all the pictures on the walls are of butterflies.
But super close up.
Yeah, but only like
just
a part of a butterfly. And like, you know how they have those little things, those circles? They look like eyeballs, kind of like,
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's just
they're
on their
leaves, yeah.
wing. Yeah, and
Mhm,
their
or their
leaves.
Their wings.
Anyway, I said it's really creepy if you drive by really fast because all you're seeing is eyes, eyes, eyes. And I said it's like red rum, red rum. And he knew that it was from, he's never seen The
I
Shining.
didn't know what it was from. I knew that it
Oh.
was referring to murder spelled backwards.
Oh, but
I
he
didn't know what
even-
it was from because you're like, well, that refers. You're like, well, of course that's referring to The Shining. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so he's never seen The Shining. I think we should publicly shame him for that.
Hey, I want to know right now in the comments, have you watched The Shining? If you have, just say, yes, I've watched it or something along those lines so that we know. And if you haven't watched it, say that too so that I'm not left alone over here just as this. Cheri's so excited about our show. She's going to watch it right now
I'm
while we're
looking
doing
for
the
comments.
show.
Steve Hammond said, "What's up?"
Hey, Steve.
We miss you.
We do. We got to do it. We got to do a whole trip down here again with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, so let's hear who has seen The Shining, who has not. Just like put it right down there. Let's see if there's a comment section. I like cross up like that. Anyway, so, but then yesterday we went to the selfie museum, and then we came back here and freshened up. Oh, and then we had drinks out at the mall where the selfie museum was, the outdoor area, the place called Sicky's Garage. That was
Yeah, that was fun.
fun. And then came back here and got ready, and we went to the Erotic Heritage Museum.
Yes, we did. We went to the Erotic Heritage. I don't really want, to give them like any publicity,
Right.
but we're going to give them some publicity, but not the kind that they probably want.
Yes, because there was a thing that should not have happened, and it's unfortunately what happens in the world too often that came up.
Yeah. So when I bought the tickets, there was no option for, a lot of times it'll be accessible seating if you need it.
And you buy tickets
Yeah.
enough to watch.
Right.
You know how to buy it.
So there wasn't the site that I used. I think it was Vegas.com. I don't know. It didn't say anything about accessible seating. But when I got there, she said, "Are you going to be in this for the show?" Like about my
Yeah.
scooter. I said, "Yeah." Okay, well, I don't know. We might remember this differently, but it was just like, well, that should have been addressed or something.
Yeah,
like that.
that should have been documented on here or something like that.
Yeah.
Was that the blonde gal?
That was the blonde.
There was two. There was a
It
blonde
the
and a
blonde
brunette.
started
The
out.
blonde was the issue.
And the blonde, we should have got their names, but I was so mad. Anyway, she's like, "Well,
I think
now
they
I
just go by
gotta."
blonde and brunette.
She said something about how, "Oh, now she's gotta go deal with this. You take care of this shit," or something like that.
What I heard her say very specifically was, "I'm gonna go have to do all this stuff now. I'm gonna leave you here to deal with this shit." It was definitely you have to stay here to deal with this shit like this towards
Right.
where we were and your
So
scooter.
apparently at the Erotic Heritage Museum, maybe
So.
not the whole museum as a whole, but people that work there think that a woman in a wheelchair is some shit that they have to deal with. So I got really mad, and then they tried to,
Rightly
the
so.
brunette was trying to, "Well, we have to do this, we have to do that, we have blah, blah, blah." And I just said, "I don't care, because I don't care what you have to deal with. That's not my problem. I shouldn't even have to know that or hear that as a human being." And then she said, "Well, it's nothing personal." And Carol said, "But it is personal because
It's a person.
this is a person."
Yeah.
So
So that put a damper on the beginning of the that part of the evening. And it sucked too because it's your birthday, and so it's like, really, guys.
Yeah, I know
Way to lay
that
that down.
and
But I was glad to see spirits lifted later.
it took me a while. I was
I
pretty
did.
I was
I
pretty
know.
crabby at
I
first.
was worried. I was
like,
looking over it like, oh, like, are we gonna be leaving in the middle of this? Like, I don't know, and I don't want to look too much because I don't want it to be obvious and have you feel like, fuck, those guys are looking at me. Pardon my French.
Well,
Those
because
guys are
there was that moment of like, do I really want to stay here at
Yeah.
this place that's treating me like this? But then I also thought, we're here for show. I don't want to screw up everybody's plans because I'm butthurt. But I did tweet immediately about it. No response. And I'll be writing some letters and making some phone calls. And it would be nice if maybe you would too. And maybe that blonde bitch can like maybe, I don't know, not have to work there anymore if it's so hard. I don't know. What do you
Well,
think?
and the thing that's you contrast it to today where we went to House of Blues, and it was just very like, okay, give us a second to prepare your spot, come over, here's plenty of space, and no big deal. And she was communicative about, we're going to go around this way because that's where we're going to the other side. Like, that should be how it is. It should be that easy.
Right.
And
So big 2 thumbs up to House of Blues. But I do have to say this because Carol that was one thing that Carol really said was like, how hard was it at the Heritage Museum? They had to just take
Right.
out a couple of
They moved
folding
one
chairs
chair.
or whatever to make room for the scooter. So
yeah, that's the thing. It wasn't, and it's all general seating anyway, so it's not like there was a reserved spot that had to be rearranged.
right.
And this is the problem too. When people are stressed out and can't handle their workload, and then any little thing happens and they take it out on everybody else, whether it's people they work with or even worse when it's customers. I mean, we talk about this idea of external customers and internal customers, but either way, you're taking out your bad day on somebody, and that's not right. And it's also, depending on the level of what you see, it's sometimes super huge. So hey, Kayla, good to see you. She comes and does karaoke at the Otter, and and also she has Mystic Visions jewelry where she makes all of her own jewelry and sells it. So she was at the boutique that I was at last week.
Nice.
So we'll see her at more pop-up markets. So be sure to check up and follow Mystic Visions jewelry on Facebook and check out Kayla's amazing designs. So thanks for joining us. So sorry.
And she's seen The Shining, so.
Oh, I couldn't read. I just saw Kayla's name. I couldn't see what you said. You saw The Shining, and Kayla's younger than me now. I need to get caught up. Yeah. So.
Like I was telling Andy, out of all the things I tease him about that he doesn't know, that's really one thing that I think he should watch.
It really does bother you.
It really does. Bothers me a lot.
I'm gonna be watching The Shining, so maybe by next week.
We could watch that tonight here in our room.
Maybe that might get me. Is it gonna freak me out to be in a hotel watching that show on 60th floor away from home?
I didn't think of it that way.
And then go back down the hallway again.
Okay, so anyway, so that's pretty much been our trip.
Well, and then we went and sang karaoke last night.
Oh yeah, duh.
And
it's kind of nice. Some comedian friends were there that are local. So
yeah, Aubrey and Brian and Kirk were there, and you and I and Carol were there hanging out, and I got teased a little bit. I did not leave the bar with the same shirt that I got there in, because I traded with a dude. And,
yeah, I missed all that part. I was
you back to hit your jackpots. So it's been a fun trip, and we still have tonight. Tonight we're going to the show, the Sunday Funday show. So if you're in Vegas, come on down and watch comedy with us.
All right. So
what else do we have
what
on?
do we want to talk about first?
Do you want to do dreams?
Okay.
Or friends and dating?
Do you want to end with friends and dating?
Sure.
Okay. All right.
We'll get into dream interpretation.
So dream interpretation is a subject. I'm gonna
Cheri's gonna find someone sent in. I think Tara sent in a dream to be interpreted.
She didn't send it. She put it on her
posted
page, and I asked if I could use it.
Okay, that's what's going on.
So I kept a screenshot of it.
Nice.
So, but first, I just want to like go through the basics because you know how like a lot of people say they don't dream. Well, they really do. They just don't remember.
Okay.
And if you are a person, now some people like my husband prefers to not remember his dreams because he has a lot of nightmares, and so he just.
So it's like you want it.
He doesn't want to think about it. He doesn't want. I personally think that's your brain's way of kind of tidying up after the day and
Like getting closure on everything.
and
Okay.
telling you like if you have a nagging dream, I think your brain's trying to tell you something. So I think it's really valuable to look at that. Oh, and you're awkward. It almost looks like it's sticking out like it's 3D or something. You see
Wow,
that?
I see that.
Wow,
That's a good
that's
logo.
weird. Yeah.
And
Whoever
we're
did
not high
that.
either.
Yeah.
This must be on the tie-dye, which I just got these in. If anybody wants a tie-dye shirt, I just got inventory small through 2X. So hit me up on Messenger.
Cool.
We'll get you taken care
All right. So
But-
that commercial break, and we're back. So anyway, there are methods to remember your dreams if you want
Oh,
to
there
remember
are.
them. Yes. So the number one, the easiest way to remember your dreams is to keep either a pad
Paper.
and pencil or whatever,
Okay.
or a voice recorder or whatever next to your bed. And whenever you wake up, because a lot of times you wake up and like, oh, I had the weirdest dream.
Yeah.
But by the time you get up and go to the bathroom, you can't remember it anymore.
Mhm.
So if you want to remember them, you have to write them down or record them immediately, like immediately.
Wow, because your brain finishes putting it away or something afterwards. So, like, okay,
yeah.
as you wake up.
So you have to do that, and that's really and just there's other techniques too about, but we're not there yet. Okay, so basically you have, or at least it helps
like
also.
Kegling for brain memory.
It is,
Okay.
or you also
Kegel your dreams.
it helps if you tell somebody about your dream right away. But
Kegels.
most people don't really want to hear about your dreams.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're married, they're stuck there and they have to listen.
Well, and also it's not like if you wake up at 4 a.m., you might not necessarily be, someone might not answer the phone if you call and tell them about your dream.
Right.
So
Right.
you get all these weird voicemails from. Sorry, I
Right.
just need to remember this dream, so I'm leaving a voicemail at 4 a.m.
Right. Well, we have technology now where we can do that to ourselves. So that's great. So just you have to get that dream out tangibly in paper, voice, or whatever, so that it saves it.
Mm-hmm.
So that like later on you can come back to it, because sometimes you can't wake
Yeah.
up analyzing.
No, I think we've all had that where you wake up and you think, oh, what did that mean? Or I want to tell somebody about that, and then later you're just like, and sometimes you might remember a bit, like right, like I remember it involved like high school or an ex or a weird like my childhood house. Like you remember one piece of it, but not.
Or something's weird, like, well, it's like Andy was in the dream, but it wasn't really Andy, it was somebody else. But like then he turned into a fish.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just like, yeah. So, but here's the key, and this is from a book I read a long time ago, but it taught me so much, is that, okay, once you have the dream down or whatever, then if you're trying to figure out, like, why did I dream about a fish, just for an example, then, and you really can't figure it out, like, say you dreamed about a fish, you're like, Cheri, I had a dream about a fish. And I'd go, okay, well, what does fish mean to you? Like, if you had to tell an alien from outer space what a fish was, what would you say? And then because there are those dream dictionaries that will say if you dream of a dog, it means, well, dogs don't mean the same thing to everybody.
Oh, that makes
If
sense.
one person is frightened of dogs and one person loves dogs, their dog dreams are not going to mean the same thing.
Because like I can tell you, when I'm on a dating profile, I appreciate dogs, but I'm not a huge pet lover. So my rules: if I see more fur than face, it's a left swipe. I don't know where I fit in that picture.
Right.
So like for me, I'd be like, it's a dog. I don't know, maybe he's crowding the bed, but maybe that's what I'm thinking in the dream versus someone else. It's like, oh, all the affection and puppy love.
So you can't go by those dream interpretation like dictionary things.
So what do we go by?
So then, like,
How
you
we
go
explain
by
it to what we would
like
explain
how
to an
that person would explain it. If they say like a dog is
Right.
something that's really loyal,
Okay, gotcha.
if that's how she defines it,
Then that
then
probably has something to do with-
maybe the dream is actually about loyalty.
Gotcha. Okay,
Right.
that makes sense.
So you have to go through that, like, if you had to describe the thing to an alien or someone that never had heard of it,
Okay.
what would you, and just pay attention to what words you use as you're describing.
And then you come back and apply that to how it could be a play in the
Right.
dream. This is fun and informative. So
Yeah.
we have a dream here from Tara.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Last night in my dream, I was tripping on mushrooms while going through a haunted house attraction that was basically a water slide with fog. It ended and fed into a mall with no stores, but the movie theater had spiral staircases and free admission with purchase of a Build-A-Bear.
That's a lot of mall rep. Like I'm picturing just everything in the mall kind of being collided into one. Is there more?
Right. No, that's it. So,
Okay. And first of all, I think it's funny that she would be tripping on mushrooms because usually they just kind of like knock over when you're walking or you just squash them.
anyway, so I would wonder, first of all, why she was dreaming about tripping on mushrooms.
Like,
I
did you
would
have
have
an
to
edible
ask her.
before you went to bed, or did you like, were you at all somewhat high, or maybe not? I don't know. Like,
Or I would think maybe,
what does tripping on mushrooms mean to her?
right, it could be a reference. She could be dreaming, like if she knows someone who does mushrooms, like
Mhm.
say, for example, she knows Tom Baum,
Mhm.
who is a comedian and he has a psychedelic show.
Oh, right,
And maybe she's actually dreaming about Tom Baum,
right.
which I don't know.
Or like trying to get
I
on
don't
the
think
show.
she even knows it. Right.
Right. Yeah.
So that could just be a clue. So that's like I can't.
Or it could be that she's if she's worried that tripping on mushrooms would make you paranoid, if like that's how you relate to it, and then you think maybe there's something you're nervous about, so that's why
Right.
you're paranoid about the new movie that's being released and whether or not you can take your Build-A-Bear with you.
But she tripped on mushrooms while going through a haunted house attraction. That was basically a water slide with fog. So a water slide with fog in a haunted house. First of all, it sounds like
It
she's
reminds me of
got
The
some
Shining.
issues she's working
Has
through.
anyone seen The Shining?
It doesn't remind you of The Shining. So water slide with fog. So water slide. Does she
Okay.
like water slides?
Yeah.
Does she know how to swim or not?
Yeah, because that's true, because that could add to the fear factor. If you're in a haunted house and you have fear of the water or swimming, then that would make it
Right.
even scarier haunted house.
Or water slides are usually associated with children. So is this about her kids?
Mhm.
You know, so every little bit of it we can't interpret. We would have to have her here.
Or like for Tara, like, is there a childhood memory related to a haunted house or a water slide or something that is
Mhm.
something that makes it
Oh, it ended and fed into a mall with no stores.
right?
So a mall with no stores is kind of what's going on right now with
I
the
was
pandemic.
just gonna say that's like 2020 right there.
Mhm. Is that there are malls? Oh, maybe she's sliding through the pandemic. She's had her immunizations. Now she's there at the mall, but
She made it
what's
through the
left?
fog.
Well, yeah, but what's left after all this?
All I can picture is like a spiral staircase that leads to a movie theater.
I know, but what does that mean? A spiral staircase at a movie theater?
Well, it depends, because spiral staircases are kind of scary to walk on a lot of times. They're hard to navigate, but they're also kind of very elegant. So it could be that maybe it's a classy movie theater.
Because usually, well, like
Or-
if you're rich or whatever, your house might have a beautiful spiral
Yeah,
staircase.
or it could also be that it's an obstacle to get to the movie theater. Like you can't just walk right in.
We have to, with the purchase of a Build-A-Bear.
Yeah.
Build-A-Bear. That's a kid thing too.
Hmm.
So I'm curious. So anyway, we have no answers, but that's how you pick a dream apart.
And so, what should we do with our dreams this week? We should write them down
Mhm.
right away as soon as we have them, and then start asking ourselves some of those questions. Have you
Right.
had a dream you want to share that you could interpret?
Maybe, but I want to say one other thing is
Okay.
that if you also tell yourself when you go to bed, I'm going to remember my dreams.
Mhm.
Just tell yourself that every night. I'm going to remember my dreams. There's this is an advanced skill that some people might have, lucid dreaming, where you know that you're dreaming in the dream and you can control the dream.
Oh, yeah.
That's really an advanced skill, and that comes with telling yourself, I'm going to remember my dream. I'm in control so that you can remember while you're dreaming.
Okay, I've had dreams where I have been terrified when I woke up and I've been able to go back to sleep and close it the right way. Like, oh, I need to get away from the bad guy. I just like go back to sleep and then they'll go away. Or you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I've had that happen where I've had something where it didn't have the outcome. It was close to the outcome. And I thought I need to finish it because otherwise I don't feel good. So
Right. What I have two recurring dreams. One recurring dream is that I'm looking for a toilet
Okay.
But every toilet is either clogged, it won't flush it. There's no doors on it. It's in the front of an auditorium
That's
and
some sort
everybody
of
can see me.
obstacle.
But all that dream means is that I have to pee and my body's trying to wake me up to go to the bathroom.
Okay. Well, there we go. We know what that one is.
But the other recurring dream that I have, and I have it almost every night,
Mhm.
is that I'm moving, traveling. I'm going somewhere. I'm moving to a new house.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm back in an old house, but there's always like,
Relocation.
and I guess in a dream, a house is really supposed to be like you.
Mm.
Like if you're dreaming about a house, you're dreaming about yourself. Since I'm always moving, I'm like traveling. I think it's the nature of like comedy and stuff is that everything's
yeah.
always changing.
Very fluid. Yeah.
So I mean, I still haven't like figured that one out because I've been having because it's always different, but it's the same.
Maybe you're still planning all these moves. Because I know you want to move to
Right.
Vegas.
Right.
So maybe it's just like in your head, the move is happening, even if it's not on paper yet.
And a lot of times I dream about my ex,
Mhm.
and then I feel bad because like I'm married to Dave, and then I think, well, it's really a man thing.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm really just dreaming about a man, and if it's
And it shows
if it's
up
a
in one way
if
or
it's
the
a
other.
man who has negative characteristics, then it's going to be. So maybe if I'm mad
See.
at Dave, I would dream about Jim. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe. I dream about
I bet you do.
that too. So, but I'm curious because when you get into this moving thing, what does moving represent to you?
Well, just going to a new place,
Does
moving from one place to another.
Does it bring up any insecurities or hesitations or excitement?
Oh, well, actually, what it does, because I've thought about this, is that when I was with my ex, I felt like I was dependent on him because he had the money. And then when I moved out when we split up and I moved into, like, I was always poor when like my kids were young, I was on welfare. We lived in Section 8 housing. And so then when I moved in with Jim and we had a house and then we split up, I was like, am I going to go back to that poverty? But I was able I was renting a house and it was a nice, cute house. And it felt like the biggest success story to me
Yeah.
is that I went away from someone who was treating me terribly and I was able to do it on my own when I had always thought I wouldn't be able to do it on
So
my own.
I wonder if sometimes you are projecting, if you relate moving in that way. What I heard are two things. One is moving could be a hesitation and a fear because you don't know about your security, but it could also be a symbol of success when you move to the right place. So
Right.
you could be either nervous about some things, or you could also be projecting your future success for
Right.
the moving. Like that's
Right.
the representation of what
The other question to ask, and I couldn't answer it right now because I didn't just wake up from a dream,
Okay.
is what was the tone of your dream?
Oh, like how did you feel?
Did it feel scary or did it
Okay.
feel happy or did it feel whatever? That kind of actually
that makes
helps.
sense.
Like if I'm dreaming about moving, but when I woke up, I'm excited,
Yeah,
then we know that it's like, okay,
it's a good kind.
right. So
The Vegas with
there's it's very multi-layered and I think it's actually a really good like hobby
Well,
because
and people kind of poo-poo stuff like that because they think things like, oh, it's voodoo magic or it's like that kind of stuff. But our brain is processing all of the information, so it definitely has meaning. You can't deny that your brain is taking things that we relate to other things and processing what we're afraid of, what we're excited about, and what we're looking forward to. So.
well, and the other thing is like if you fall asleep with the TV on, you will get elements of that show in your dream, and that doesn't really count.
It's kind of like subliminal messaging kind of thing too, right? But
Well,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like if you're dreaming about murderers, that doesn't mean you might just be hearing.
Yeah, because you're watching a serial killer show.
Right.
That's what Cheri would go to, of course.
Yeah.
She falls asleep watching it. Yeah, that's good to know. I might pick and choose what you fall asleep to very carefully. So sometimes I actually fall asleep listening to some of those positive reinforcement. There's some 8-hour videos you can watch for hypnotizing or subliminal messaging kind of things. I always worry that they're gonna like after about 45 minutes start saying things that you don't want, like that it's like a trick. So sometimes I fast forward partway through just to make sure they're still saying good things because it's like I want to wake up.
Every time somebody says good morning, you're gonna bleat like a goat.
Right, exactly. So I do have a little, I'm weird like that. So Anything else on dream interpretations?
I think that's mostly it.
That's
Yeah, I
exciting.
mean, we don't need to belabor the point, but
But feel free to, if you have a dream and you want to throw some ideas into the chat or message us directly.
it would also be nice to hear from Tara
Yes, Tara,
about
please.
what her dream actually meant after listening to me, if any of that related to her.
Yeah.
If not, she and I could specifically go over it because,
Mhm.
just
Be kind of fun.
So yeah.
So next thing that we wanted to talk about was Cheri didn't have any gay quizzes for me today. I don't think,
No.
or did you?
No.
She just brought me to Vegas to see if I last. I was like, okay, if you can make it here, we'll figure things out. But sorry, I did.
Next time we come, we'll go to a gay bar.
Okay, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
So the next up, we want to talk about how should you cross people off the list of potential dating based on who they're hanging out with in their group. Like last night, we were at Dino's, the bar that we did karaoke. That was a lot of fun. It was a blast. And it was one of those bars where you go in and there were people, and this is what I loved about this place, from every walk of life. There were people in that I could see that I pretty much guessed were different letters of all the LGBTQ, but it wasn't like you were in that bar where that's the only, everybody had to be a letter. There was like a couple here and a couple there. And I'm like, oh, there's a good variety of people. There were people of all different races, all different ages, cowboy hats, non-cowboy hats, truckers, bikers. It really was like the Toby Keith song. Like, we got winners, we got losers, chain smokers and boobies. That's not what he said.
Oh, okay.
He says losers, but
yeah.
anyway,
So it was really
but
a good
it was
mix
fun.
because I leaned over to Andy and said, I haven't quite figured out what kind of bar this is. So
yeah, but
it's just a little bit of
it's
everything.
a fun bar, and everybody got along well, and you see people coming in hugging people at other tables that they obviously know as locals. And that's the fun thing when you get out into any part of the world, is to go to the neighborhood places and meet people that actually are from there. The guys that were hitting on me, supposedly 2 of them weren't gay, but I mean, I hit on them too, but they were fun. Neither of them were from here, but there were other people from here. So anyway, I don't know why I had to throw that out there, but so when you're out at a place like that and you see a table and you think, oh my gosh, that guy's really good looking, but then you're looking at the crowd that he's with, and it's like, is it fair to say, I don't want to hang out with those people? But at the same time, if you're going to bring somebody into your life, if you're really trying to date them, you have to take that into consideration, because I know that there's people that I have gone on a date or 2 with, and then I start to meet their friend crowd, or even I see what they're posting, and it's like, if this is all they're doing all the time, then that's not a crowd I'm going to fit into very well. And it's not to judge what they're doing. It's just, if good or bad, people could be running a marathon every weekend. I was like, I can't keep up with that. So I got to think about, is that the group that I want to try to fit into? Or they could be going out drinking hardcore every weekend, and that might not work either. But I don't know. It's just one of those things, because I've had times where I felt bad, where I thought, oh, this guy's really cool and I like him, but I can't take his friends, and then I feel.
Is it his friends because because of the activities they're doing? I was thinking more like you were just saying, like, I met this guy and we have a lot of fun together, and then I meet his friends and they're a bunch of.
Well, yeah, I was using the activities as an example, but it is both, right? It's, for me, it is more like, if you can't handle their personalities or their interests. But I think that that's also a representation of that person's character and interest, more so than anything, because that's who they're choosing to spend all that time with. And if somebody meets me and they can't handle you, and it's like, well, I'm not giving up on Cheri, so depending on who it is.
Who wouldn't like me?
I know. Right.
So that's interesting.
But then you feel bad, right? Because we're told we're not supposed to judge. But the thing that's wrong about that, I think there's a difference between judging people and saying you're bad or you're whatever. But when you're judging it based on whether or not you're accepting it into your life, I think that's good judgment, because that's how we stay safe, and that's how we.
Well, you have to judge situations in order to make a decision.
Yeah.
So maybe you're not saying that the people that they're with are bad people.
Right.
But they might be. You might meet a guy and then you realize his friends are all a bunch of.
Right. There's some people out there that are
Bank
questionable
robbers.
character. Right.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
drug addicts, for
Right.
example.
Yeah.
Not that drug addicts are bad people, but I don't want to hang around with them.
Well, it's the thing of if you have, anytime you have stuff with addiction or bad habits or anything like that, you have to decide. There's a difference between having a friend that you know has that going on and you stick around to help them through that versus are you going to invite all of that into your life when it's not already there and you're not the person to become that support system for complete strangers.
Mhm.
And but it is, it's like I've met some people and then their friend group, the thing that gets with me is more when it's all the drama, like
Oh.
all the friend drama, and I'm just like I'm sorry, you're cute and everything, but I can't take all that. So I think it's, when do you decide that, and is that
Well, I
bad?
think we all might have a friend or two that,
Yeah, we got a dramatic friend.
maybe you've been friends with them for a long time, or you
Yeah.
have some other kind of connection with them.
Mhm. That must be, yeah,
But we're talking about people
when
that
it's the whole
that you
circle.
hang out with all the time, that are your go-to people.
Right.
Yeah, well, because they say that you become like this. What is it?
You're
Like
like
the
the sum
7
of
people
the-
that
yeah.
you spend the most time with,
Mhm.
basically.
Yeah, you're like the average of the 5 or 6 people that you spend the most
Right.
time with.
So
And
if they're hanging out with a bunch of unsavory people, I would question
Yeah.
their character.
and that's the thing, it's like, well, if you meet them at a bar one time and that's who they're hanging out with, that doesn't necessarily mean, that could have been a reunion night. It could have been just hey, these are people I catch up with every once in a while. So it doesn't necessarily mean don't give them a chance.
Right.
But
If they go on a trip to Vegas and drink 3 nights in a row, that doesn't mean they're alcoholics.
true. I hope not. But you're right. But then you do have to kind of take that evidence into consideration, because if it's okay, well, if that's the only people they talk about, and that becomes evident that is their circle, then you got to go, okay, well, that could be a warning sign. So I just think that's good. Are you looking for comments?
Yeah, but then we don't have any new comments, at least not on this
That's okay,
one.
because you guys can comment later and we'll come up, catch up with it. But that was my take on the friend thing. It was one of those things where I've had that happen a few times lately, where I saw a potential person and then I just really thought, I don't know. The more I see posting on social media and all these different things, it was just too much for me.
Well, it's kind of, it's kind of like, totally forgot what I was going to say.
It's kind of like
Posting on social media. I don't know. I forgot. I'm old. That's my excuse now. I'm 60. I'm a sextagenarian. Or what is it? For 60.
60. Oh, is that a word?
I don't know. Let's call it a sextagenarian. That sounds gonna.
Sex-
Look at the necklace that Andy gave me for my birthday. He got it at the Karma Luck store. I love Karma Luck. I usually buy something for somebody. I pick one every
You got
time.
me as something from there one time, which
I've got my
Very
husband, my friend Tracy. Like, I usually bring home a Karma Luck something for somebody, because since I got a money tree there,
mhm.
I mean, I keep it in my office. You have to feng shui it in the right place. But I've really had my credit score's gone up. I win
it's
a lot
all-
at the casino. Just everything has gotten
And
better.
this is the same, like, it looked like I was going to go in, but this is the same stone that's in that same type of tree, where it's what did I say, luck and prosperity, or
Yeah.
success and prosperity. So
That's kind of
I think it's luck and prosperity. So I walked in, I said, what do you have for someone who wants to be famous? And they said, luck. Good luck.
Well, there is a
But it
certain
is.
amount of luck involved. So
Fame and fortune. It's all about, you put in a lot of hustle, you put in a lot of work, but I like to think, life is part luck and part what you do with that. It's kind of that idea that we have situations and circumstances happen, and the same 5 people can encounter the same thing. We can all get handed $20, and then whether or not that $20 turns into 100 or turns into, like, scratch tickets, or turns into junk food, or an experience that we remember for the rest of our lives, that $20 becomes something different for everybody, because it's all about, we make different decisions and reactions to what we're given. So there's part luck and then part our choice. So
that's right.
excuse me.
How long have we been doing this?
We've been doing this about 45 minutes.
So we're getting
we
up
are
on our
getting
time.
close
We try to keep it under an hour because I've
Yes.
found that if it's over an hour, I can't post it on Instagram. So
Yeah, we got some instas out there who like to see what's going on, so we want to be
Yeah.
able to bring our good joy and fun
Yeah.
to you. So
we're having a good time
we are
here
having a blast.
in Vegas. We wish you were here
Having
with
a
us.
Good time.
Too bad we can't show our little. We got a penthouse suite here. We're on the 60th floor. We are styling. We have a bar and a kitchen. Like,
Yeah, and you did a little walkthrough, didn't you, of it on your Facebook page?
I just took the pictures of
Okay.
it, still pictures.
Okay.
I
I was
usually do
still
a
in bed
walkthrough.
when you got back from. I heard you like, I'm gonna do a little walkthrough, and I was like, do I need to get out of bed for this?
Yeah, no, I just click some photos because, gotta. Some people say that when people go on vacation, that all your friends like get jealous,
Oh,
and that it makes people. They say Facebook makes people depressed because they see everybody else doing
Yeah.
stuff, and it makes them. It's a fear of missing out.
Yeah.
And so I'm just let you know, because I know you know this, because when I post stuff like that, it's not to like, haha, look what I've got and you don't. It's like I just want to share the love and make you feel like you're on this trip with me.
mhm.
Because I would love next time we come to double the amount of friends that we have here. And just really, the only thing that I don't like about having people with me, because normally I do this by myself, is that you got to wait for everybody to shower and everything else. And
Mhm.
so everything takes longer when you have more people.
Yeah.
So next time going in, I can plan for that accordingly.
And sometimes that's where you have to just say, hey, tomorrow's plan is to do this thing at 10 o'clock. If you want to do it, be there. And that way they got to get that out of the way. Because otherwise you mill around all day long waiting for everybody to get ready. It's like, oh, I forgot one more thing. And oh, yeah, I got to check this.
Yeah, well,
And then by the time person number 1 or person number 5 is done with all their things, person 1 has to go to the bathroom again.
like, oh
Start
yeah,
it
I
all
forgot.
over.
I know, and we've done this multiple times during this trip. So when I'm by myself, it's just it doesn't matter. But then I've got, we have to consider each other's feelings. Like
Hey,
maybe that's
So
weird.
frustrating. It is hard to find the right travel buddy too. Like
Right.
that is important because sometimes the other person who just wants like can't have any downtime or has to have all who only all wants downtime, and if you're not the right mix, or if you're always waiting for that person who just walks really slow to get to like the security gate, it's like, okay, I don't want to miss my flight. that kind of thing. Like we got to be on the same page here.
Now, Andy and I have an Oscar and Felix thing going on in the bedroom for sure. Like,
Not a gay reference, Oscar and Felix in the bedroom.
no. Oscar and Felix, for those of you who are young,
The Odd Couple.
yeah, the odd
Do,
couple.
do, 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 do,
And so one was neat
do,
and one
do,
was
do,
messy.
do, do, do,
So I'm sure
do, do, do,
he was the neat
do.
one. I'm the messy one. So his stuff is all like neatly packed, and his shoes are lined up in a row perfectly on his little area by his bed. And then the whole rest of the bedroom is my shed. I can't do it. I packed. It was like we weighed my suitcase at home. It has to be 50 pounds.
Mhm.
If it goes over 50, it's $75
Wow.
extra. So I always, so now, we've got a scale. We weighed the suitcase and it was like 55 pounds. And
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, they'll let me go over by 1 or maybe 2, but not 5. So I took out my books, like no books, no notebooks, no
Right.
nothing like that. I took out it. But I'm like, I have to pack a lot of clothes because there's decisions to be made.
Right. Yeah, because you don't know where the day is going to go. You also don't know when you're somewhere that's 90 degrees if your outfit's going to last all day.
Right. And when you go to the selfie museum wearing a print, and then half the rooms are also print that don't match your outfits, damn it.
I
So
know.
you learn,
Next
live and
year,
learn.
we're going to plan better for that
Live and learn.
because they have changing rooms at the selfie museum.
Do
Yeah.
they? I didn't even see
Oh,
that.
yeah. They said that when we were checking in. I was like, well, that's good to know because
You could
I
bring a
considered
change of
bringing a
clothes.
couple different colors of my shirt, and I thought, oh, that's over the top. But
Yeah, I would
next time
highly
I will.
recommend the selfie world.
yeah,
It was really fun, but I think if you have 3 people, you might need a little more than an hour to really do it properly.
yeah.
If you were going to change out,
Or you just need to agree you're going to go on your own and not try to coordinate. Because that was one thing I think we each could have gone a little bit faster if we weren't
Uh-huh.
looking at what the other person was doing, and so that did slow it
Wow.
down. It was fun because we got some ideas. And it's like, oh, I saw what Carol did. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go back to that room and do that pose. And I saw
Right.
what you did. And I'm like, I'm gonna try that. It was interesting to see all of our combinations of pictures and how they varied within each room.
Yeah, so I recommend that. It was
Mhm.
fun.
It is fun.
It was $25 for an hour per person.
Mhm,
$25. Yeah. So
And for people who are in entertainment like we are, it's kind of cool because you get a really good variety of things with props and stuff that you can use for different headshots and different promos that they actually give you the ring light, so you carry that around to the rooms, and so you get good lighting, and it's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, for $25 to get a bunch of shots you can play with, that's a good deal.
yeah, it is.
So
All right, I guess
think-
we're good.
I think we're good. She's done listening to me, so we're gonna continue the birthday shenanigans. I had what'd you call it, a Peter Brady bunch, Peter Brady
Peter.
moment again.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll be back in Seattle, Tacoma area tomorrow.
And we'll be doing another show this Thursday. Should be back on our normal schedule.
Yes, come to Nate Jackson Super Funny Comedy Club Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. I do have 10 comps. Well, I have 1, 2. So I think I have
There's a few left.
6 or 7 left. So if you know 100% for sure that you're going to go and you need a comp, let me know.
Yes. And if you're not sure, or whenever you decide, go online, buy tickets, and bring a friend and just grab a spot, laugh your butt off, support Cheri, and
And the other comedians.
see what my hair looks like that day.
Just don't appreciate the other comedians quite as much as we appreciate them.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye, everybody. This has been Scrutiny with Cheri and Andy.
Are you going to stop it? He's frozen. I'm not.
I think my Zoom froze. Okay, so do I just hit end and then it'll save the recording?
Yeah. Bye, Andy.
Bye bye.